Jen, I remember it was one of the earlier months in 2018. You and I were just having just a general catch up, and I remember at the time you were in a very, very dark place, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing with the group just talk us through the battles, or how you've battled through darkness and depression.
Yeah, so early 2018 was a very dark time, but I'd actually kind of had depression before then, which started when I was 19, 20, and I'd been in LA and I was having like the most amazing time, and I think my career was kind of peaking, and we were signed to a record deal, and then something happened, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it knocked me so much that I kind of lost everything. So I ended up losing the deal on my record label and everything. Kind of, if you could think of like being like in your dreams and then suddenly it just all like vanishing, and felt like it was all in my hands and so in reach, and just everything went. My relationships failed, I lost my friendships, I ended up having to come back to London, and I just fell into the deepest darkness. Throughout my life, throughout the past 10 years, it's just been eating away at me slowly. I keep trying to like pick myself up, but I've just been living in the past. If I'm honest with you, like things would happen and it would just take me back to that place when I was like, oh, if that hadn't happened. It's like I've been living in a parallel life. Like, if this, like sliding doors.
Just to say sliding doors, yeah.
Like, if that one thing hadn't happened, I'd be happy and I'd be here and I'd be doing what I dreamed of doing, but instead I'm here. And they say that depression is the result of living in the past, and anxiety is the result of living in the future.
Right.
So I think I'm getting to the point where I'm just trying to live in the present and trying to forgive, just try and recover from disappointment, because I think when disappointment gets into your heart and it leads to despair, it can lead to this dark place, which like I never used to believe in depression.
Right.
I used to genuinely, I think it's one of those things you don't really completely understand until you've experienced it. Because I used to have a gratitude journal, and I'd literally always be under the impression that you just need to like just get yourself out of it and think happy thoughts and do happy things, and depression seemed like a myth, and then when you're in it, it feels like this darkness, like this cloud that just won't shift. And
Since early 2018 when we met up that time, I know that you, since then we had talked a lot, and you felt that friendships were really helping you. We've heard a lot of people talk in the theme of mental health, understandably so, how counselling and therapy was really important, and it is, if you need it, get it. But I know for you, something you were passionate about talking about within your story was how really good friendships was something has helped in seasons to drag you by the hair, almost like your friends have gone, I am not accepting this in your life. We're gonna drag you out of this pit.
So I did have counselling, and I think and during some of the deeper issues that was great, but I guess in a counselling situation, and I think this is just my personal experience, is I find it hard being like the therapist, and then I hate feeling like I'm pouring myself to someone who doesn't really know me. And I just have the most amazing girlfriends. I feel so blessed, and I've always appreciated my female friends. I think they're so important, but never as much as I have through those dark seasons, because they're like rays of sunshine in the darkness. I think the power of female friendship is so important, and it's not just fun, it's actually really powerful. I think what women can do to other women is something that no one else really can. I think just being able to love on each other and allow ourselves to be loved, because that was another thing I struggled with, is that I'm okay with being there for people, and I love it when they open up to me and I can be there for them, but having it be the other way around, I really struggled with it. For them to allow me to open up, and for them to...
So how did you take that first step? I can really identify with that. tell me about your problems and I'll help you. But then for me, it's a journey that I want as well, of learning to become more vulnerable, and it's very hard for me to say to someone, can you help me? But this is my new language that I'm training myself, and that's tied in with self-esteem and value and worth that, you know, that we've talked about in other themes. What was that first step like for you, you know, when you made that decision to reach out to someone and go, can you help me? Or to reach out to a friend and say, I'm not coping?
Yeah, it was really difficult because I'm an actress. It's actually a lot.
You're used to the masks.
It's a lot easier.
Somebody else.
Oh my gosh, I've got 10 different personas. I can like put out like whatever one you want. It's a lot easier for me to hide behind a smile, and I think the first step was to not hide. And I love being around people, and I'm normally quite extroverted, but I kind of, during this season, just went completely introverted. I didn't want to be around people because it was exhausting to pretend to be okay. And I think the first step was actually just to stop hiding.
And now, it's not, I know, because I'm learning so much about this, obviously because of what I went through with my brother's friend, and I want to educate myself more on mental health, and I know it's not an overnight ta-da, I've arrived. I know it can be a lifetime's journey, but you have started it.
Yeah.
How do you safeguard yourself?
A few things. Apparently laying down is actually the worst thing you can do. It's been scientifically proven that negative thoughts have a lot more power when you're laying like flat.
Really?
How crazy is that? Yeah, and a lot of the time when you're in that dark place and you're depressed, all you want to do is just like sleep. You just want to lay down, and it's actually the worst thing you can do. Yeah, so I think one of the first things has been actually to get up and be active. Get those and it's the last thing you want to do when you're in that place. Because you do just want to have a little pity party for one, lay down, like eat. But on a day today, like to stop living in the past and the future, every day I wake up and I have to think, who do I want to be today? It's not about who I was yesterday or who I want to be in the future. It's who do I want to be today?
Well, I love the light that's coming out of you now in comparison to the beginning of 2018, and I hope that can be a message of hope to someone out there. You know, it's not easy, it's one day at a time, but thank you.
I'd say don't give up. I'd say it doesn't make you weak. Depression and mental health doesn't make you weak. There's so much life to be had, and that it's a season that just one more conversation. I remember you saying just one more conversation could change everything. I remember I was having a conversation and you that was my conversation actually. That was my one conversation that kind of started to change everything around. So yeah, reach out.
Next time on the 7 series.
But I think the hardest point for me was when I started having suicidal thoughts and anything, because I had lost all the hope that I had. It just felt like my world had fallen apart and anything that I had in life was lost.